Hello there. There's a new international forum in town. Can this help turn the tide of the current discourse of shutting down humans to save the planet? Well-known Canadian psychologist, author and YouTuber Jordan Peterson and Danish author and president of the think tank Copenhagen Consensus Centre Bjorn Lomborg teamed up to write an article for The Telegraph today telling us about their pet project, a new international forum, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, or ARC, that is currently being developed. Unofficially, it's being touted as the hope antidote to the doom and gloom perma-crisis of the World Economic Forum. And writing in their article, they say this new forum, which emerged out of the Legatum Institute, will seek to find practical and positive solutions to the global problems we all face. And they go on to say that ARC has an international coalition of politicians, business leaders, public intellectuals and cultural commentators that will help ensure that a broader range of perspectives can be heard. And they point to the knee-jerk responses to the pandemic and the one-sided net zero argument as where real critical thinking, fresh ideas and new technology need to be brought to bear. Fear-mongering and the suppression of inconvenient truths are pushing us towards wrong solutions, they write. It's also pushing us to address the wrong problems as well. As they point out, for a total of $11.7 billion every year, the world could stop 1 million people a year dying from TB and reduce the number of hungry people by 100 million every year by helping to increase crop yields in poorer countries. And the more lives saved and the more advanced countries get, the fewer children they have. Just look at the below replacement birth rate in the developed world and the coming global population decline. So a way of addressing this and stabilising the global population going forwards must be found, something Peterson has referred to in one of his ARC videos. Now ARC says there will be a 3-day conference of 1,000 international leaders in late 2023 in London, possibly Greenwich, with one major public event during the period to invite public participation and engagement. Now, the one thing that surprised me is that ARC hasn't got real traction yet. Something that surprises me given the calibre of those involved on the advisory board. And no, Tony Blair is not among them. Now, the ARC was announced back in March this year, but it doesn't look like the press is very interested. While The Guardian labelled it as a group looking for the meaning of life, saying, Alliance for Responsible Citizenship includes prominent Brexit voices and Bjorn Lomborg, who has questioned the urgency of the climate crisis. And the ARC CEO is Tory Baroness Philippa Stroud, who wrote a piece earlier in the year saying, Western history is being rewritten as a narrative of crisis and decline, and we are in danger of losing our connection with the foundations on which our nations were built. Not what the lefties want. They want to use perma-crises to comprehensively dismantle our culture and history. And stories of hope don't sell many newspapers, and that'll explain the press silence. But Guido Fawkes did do a piece on it at the time. And this press silence might explain the lack of awareness of this new forum. Compare that to whenever Blair opens his mouth, or Klaus Schwab. Now, the whole establishment narrative is that human activity must be shut down or the planet will be destroyed. But ARC is talking about human endeavour and technology being the way we deal with problems, not just get the bulk of the people to live bottled up and unrewarding lives. And there is also a traditional Christian spirit to it all. So it's more than just a one-dimensional, one-size-fits-all solution. Now you can complete a questionnaire when you visit the ARC website. It has 6 thought-provoking questions for you to answer with your comments. Their YouTube channel could also do with more subscribers. Once again, with the calibre and status of those involved, you'd think it would have many, many more, especially as Peterson, who is one of ARC's advisors, has his own channel with 7.32 million subscribers. Now this will interest many people. Baroness Stroud said that the solutions we come up with must be dealt with within the countries where the problems are expressed. We don't believe in supranational solutions, she said. How refreshing. Going on to say it was all about hope and a future of a flourishing human race, not about a UN/WEF attitude of declinism. No wonder they call ARC the antidote to the World Economic Forum. And the United Nations won't be too pleased either. Therefore, the lefty press will try to suppress it. Now, ARC has 4 major themes. The first is, what is the better story? What is the story that needs to be told to get the human race moving forwards as societies and nations? This is the vision part, getting a unifying vision of hope for the future. The second of the 4 is how do we rebuild the social fabric of our societies to make them healthy and strong again. The third is how to get our businesses to be more entrepreneurial and generate more employment and more opportunities. Finally, how do we get cheap, abundant energy to everywhere that needs it while balancing it with the net zero debate? And with all this is a central theme of family and children, looking at the part families play in society and indeed with the prosperity we enjoy. Now, from the advisory board, it looks like this may be slightly right of centre. But having looked into it, ARC is hinting that the developed world will have to put its hand in its pocket to bring the rest of the world with it. And many of you may be uncomfortable with that. But it seems that the thinking is that we could all be winners were we to do that in the right way, in the right places. And as long as the money does not end up in some brutal ruler's offshore account. And that has always been my main gripe with foreign aid, as well as some of the very questionable projects millions have been squirted into. And in complete contrast to the WEF and its founder Klaus Schwab, the ARC is talking about citizens flourishing and prospering. The WEF is more interested in companies and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Great Reset, etc., with Klaus Schwab proudly declaring that Davos is driving the change and the agenda. ARC says it wants local solutions, whereas the WEF says it engages the foremost political, business, cultural and other leaders of society to shape global, regional and industry agendas. And the WEF doesn't seem to have improved anything much over the years, does it, other than scare people? But Peterson and Lomborg say in their piece, the new ARC Forum can help us envision the future in a positive manner. Enough panicked fear-mongering. We can focus on what is truly important and attainable. I think it's time to give ARC a good hearing, don't you?